Mike's Daily Podcast.
Wow, I cannot believe it. The website is back up. How did that happen? That's amazing. I basically threatened them. So my domain is, well, basically I just said the name of the company. That they control the web server and all that. And they basically messed up because there was something infected in my website, and they should have just deleted it.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
But with their company, you have to delete it. You have to go in and fix it yourself.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Because if you want help, you've got to pay a third party, and then they get a back end amount from that, and that's kind of crap. I would have to say I don't like that. And so I was thinking about canceling, and I think I still will, because I'm caroling, because Christmas is
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Christmas is 25 days away or something like that, because it's the last day of November. What an exciting month that was. Probably the
Mike's
most
Daily
exciting
Podcast
November of my life.
Yeah!
A lot of things happened that I did not expect to happen. I was not expecting a lot of things. I was expecting turning 50. I was not expecting the new job I was getting, the bigger job title that I have now. I was probably yearning for that job title in my younger days, and at 50 I suddenly attain it, and I have to thank a bunch of people. I'll just zip through the biggest one is Greg. Thank you. And then there's a guy named Mike, and there's a guy named Craig, and I got to thank them. And I got to thank input that I got from a lot of my friends, my lovely lady friend, my mom, my friend that is the brewmaster, shall we say, the real brewmaster, and other people. So thank you so much. You gave me some great input. But now we move on, and it's getting caught up with this whole crazy job that I now have, and it's exciting. And I got to hang out, though. I did have dinner, a much-deserved dinner with some friends last night that I had not seen in months. And it was so wonderful to see them. Oh, they are such wonderful people. And you know what? Actually, it was sort of a pre-Christmas thing last night because their house is all decked out.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Instead of doing the big, gaudy Christmas tree, they get a lot of little ones. Like this one that's totally blue, and this one that's all fiber optics, and this one that looks like a traditional Christmas tree, but it's not real, it's not alive, but, you know, the Christmas lights and Basil. Basil was there. He enjoyed it. They offered up this bed that they have, and he basically slept while we ate delicious meatloaf. Mom! More meatloaf! And we talked about my new promotion, and we talked about the people in our lives, and they told me about when they bought a house. And first off, when they rented in Oakland in the early 70s, they paid $150 a month. $150 a month. Let's see, what costs $150 a month these days? Cable, if you're lucky. But no, you got room. You got used to the laundry room. You got a sauna back in those days in this apartment building, which apparently is still there. It's right by Laney College near Lake Merritt in Oakland. Then they decided we got to buy a house because we're going to start a family. And they bought a house for around $20,000. $20,000. I think that's about how much money I made in radio up until about 2006. I was making that much in radio every year because I was getting paid nothing. Thank you, Cumulus. So what happened is interest rates were pretty high back then, but the houses were cheap. Interest rates now are still around 4%. They were down really low. Was it 1%? Was it 0.009%? Something like that. It was up until a couple years ago. And then they started slowly edging up. And now we've got this guy in the Fed who's just going crazy. Like, let's kick it up to 700%. Blah. So now we have this wonderful thing called really expensive houses. But yet you've got this low percent on your interest rates for, paying mortgages and whatnot. You know what? It was a wonderful conversation. They sold that house that they bought. So they bought it for $20,000, sold it for twice the amount. No, more than twice the amount. And then they went and moved to Castro Valley, where I met them years upon years later, and then had a wonderful little sit-down meal with them last evening. It was wonderful. Oh, I had some hot buttered rum. That's right, hot buttered rum. Just saying those words, doesn't that just make that inside of your stomach just go, woo? Did you ever get drunk off of that? Because, my gosh, if you can pretty quickly. Because the concoction involves a lot of alcohol. But it's delicious, and it's fattening as heck and sweet, and it's like you're drinking a dessert, and there was even ice cream in it. It was probably the best. This kicks the frou-frou drink butt because it was so good. Let's go outside of Café Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. All those people talking in the background just annoyed me. Hey, as we went outside, look who we ran into out here. Hello, Michael Master, it's Madame Rootabega, and I guess it's me again. Oh.
And it's Valentino, the parking attendant, and that guy is showing up.
Yeah, this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that? Oh no, I drove my car into Café Anyway. And I died.
Anyway.
No, I didn't. Do you know that? That's great, guys. Awesome to have you here. Here's what I don't understand about the caravan. They have cell phone access, okay? A lot of them, this according to the New York Times, they have cell phones. Yet, at the same time, they don't have access to the current news. And what led to them gunning the border was a lot of them were, well, I don't know. I didn't know that was wrong. I thought Trump was going to welcome us. But they keep saying that they don't have good information. Yet a lot of them are walking around with smartphones. And they have access to the internet. They have access to store. They're like moving towards America. Here's what I'm saying is I don't like how reporters they keep saying they don't know what's going on. They don't know. They're just running at the border and they don't know what's happening, and they don't know. They know. And my point is that the media will, I guess, I don't like the whole thing of, oh my God, women and children, they got tear gassed. No, they were standing downwind and they got tear gas in their faces, and it's because they were in a situation where people were gunning for the border. You do that in a lot of countries, you're shot dead. In America, we throw tear gas at you. It's not any better. That doesn't make us any more civilized that we do that, but still, what's the alternative? You get shot dead. There's this little thing called the Berlin Wall. People got shot dead. My relatives were split down the middle because of the Berlin Wall. And if they tried to leave and run, there's property that my family didn't see. Well, they didn't own it anymore, but there was property that had once belonged to the family that they couldn't see until the wall came down. And they made a trip, went out there, saw it. All I'm saying is, in general, I hate what the Republicans stand for. I'm not the biggest fan of Trump, but at the same time, I'm like, look, we have certain rules. And just, anyway, Café Anyway, who cares what I think?
Anyway.
Outside of Café Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. I do not think, though, you should refer to Nancy Pelosi or Dianne Feinstein as old hags, which apparently my mom says. Oh, those old hags. And my mom's the same age as Nancy Pelosi, so go figure. But we're in a pendulum society. The caravan, it dropped from the news recently because of the whole lawyer guy that was Trump's lawyer, apparently having a lot more to do with the Mueller investigation and people interested in that. Here's something interesting. I want to go back to Election Day, and yay, Democrats won a bunch of stuff. And Ocasio-Cortez, the Alexandria, Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez of New York, right? She is now a representative of one of the districts in New York. She graduated from Boston University. And what did I want to say about Boston University? I want to say, hey, good job, Boston University. You hear so many politicians that graduate from whatever, Yale, Stanford, Harvard, Princeton. But I like to see something like a Boston University or the University of California, Santa Barbara, or something like that. Let's see more politicians graduating from places like that. Or DeVry. That would be good. So at one point, remember during the economic downturn, everybody was, I got to go back to school. I got to learn more skills because no one's hiring me. I need more things to put on my resume. So I decided, because I got caught up in that fervor, I'm going to go to DeVry. I'm going to do an online course. It is absolutely the wrong idea to let anybody doing an online course know who you are, have your phone number, have your email, because you will be called day and night. You will be spammed like mercilessly. It is horrid. Online universities, online schools, I don't like them. So I know some people have used them and they have like maybe a good experience one semester, next semester it's terrible. Terrible. So just, whatever that's worth. I'm just saying, I believe in putting your butt in the seat, going to the school and doing it. I know, okay, Mike, well, there's not a school near me. Okay, but that's what I'm saying. It's a little bit better to have someone in front of you that you can raise your hand and go, excuse me, what the hell did you just mean by that? What the hell? Just like you can say that, what the hell, to me at 1-800-336-MM-DAILY. That doesn't work. Don't try dialing that because that doesn't work. You have to go 336-MM-DAILY. 336-MM-DAILY. Mike'sDailyPodcast.com is back up. Thank God. The podcast picture today. Oh yeah, I was going to try and figure out. Let's see. Well, who was the last character we had in drawing form? We had John Deere the engineer. Let's see if I can figure this out by looking at... You know what we have? Oh, we still have it. I had to dismantle a lot of things on the website because apparently something got infected and I just dismantled a ton of stuff. So now I guess we'll have the disgruntled fiddle player who happens to be out here right now.
That's right, Mike. I'm glad your website's back on because I was completely banned for a while. It made me feel terrible. Tell you what.
What?
That.
Okay, everybody have a great weekend. Thanks for listening to the show. Please let me know where you listen to this show because I know I'm up on a bunch of different places. YouTube, TuneIn, Spreaker, Podomatic. I've been on Podomatic since, for 10 years almost. And they keep wanting me to pay for an account. I'm like, no, you offer it for free. Ha-ha. Thank you so much, Podomatic. Mixcloud. I give those guys a little free plug. I will tell you the Mike'sDailyPodcast.com website will disappear next year, probably around April. I think I'm going to kill it because it really, at this point, with all the social media we have, and you're obviously listening, and I see the statistics, like I said last show, there's no one listening to this, there's no one going to the website. So I'm going to hang on to it because I'm going to milk it a little bit longer and then get rid of it. I think. That's the plan anyway. Greta Bronner's on C-SPAN. Watch C-SPAN this weekend. Get educated. There, I gave them a free plug. But go to C-SPAN 2 and 3. Those are the best on the weekend because you get people talking randomly for hours about the Civil War or about, the Kennedy administration or something. It's fascinating. Watching Walter Cronkite talking about,
this is the information that we've gleaned from the thousands of hours of the Warren Report Commission. He didn't sound like this at all, but he did have kind of a cadence like that. And I loved him. I watched him as a small child, and he said, and that's the way it is. Friday, the last day of November, 2018.
It is the last day of November. Can you believe it? December is upon us. November, thank you so much for all that you gave me. And next show it'll be Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere the Engineer. And that was episode 1755. Woo!
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!